and welcome back to the channel. I always get that first part messed up because I try to say three hellos in a row, but look who I have. It's MxlPxl. He's here with us today, and I'm super excited. And I just found out that we live really close together. Like, that's super cool. How have you been, and welcome to the channel.
I've been awesome. This has been a great week for D&D. Thank you for having me.
So that it has been. It's been amazing for me. It's kind of weird. Like a lot of things have been happening, and I don't know. We'll talk about it anyway. So thank you for coming on, and I hope you have a good time. So let's get started. So, when did you start professionally DMing? Like, when did that start?
The first time someone gave me money to run a table was in 2018.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So in 2018, uh, I got online and my son was about to be born, and I spoke to my wife and we went, we don't have enough money for a child. So let's make this skill make some dollars.
Like,
And
this is not gonna work.
yeah, and that was the jump off point. And then he was born, and things started to get more regulated. And then he got older, and when they're 2 years old, they're more needy than when they are 6 months old.
Yes, yes. As
And then
soon
it's like,
as
let's get back on this horse.
so, um, so 2018 is kind of early. A lot of people usually say the pandemic got them into it or something along those lines, but 2018 is obviously way before the pandemic, but it's pretty early. How did you maintain a steady income, pretty much being in a new niche of professional dungeon master, being a professional dungeon master?
Yeah, well, I only ran games online,
Okay.
so it was way easier for people to contact me. I also only picked up players from the worst corners of the internet, which is, I will say, the Roll20 forums. That is some of the most
Yeah.
toxic dredges that you could possibly pull. But I mean, at the time, and still to this day, I am a full-time high school teacher.
Okay.
Uh,
Okay.
so I do have two jobs.
Okay, so it's not your main income, but it is a supplemental thing. Um,
Mhm.
so you're on TikTok. That's where I know you from. That's how we kind of like got tagged in the same, I believe, video when a lot of awful things were happening. People were like, let's tag um, people of color and black people who are into D&D. It was super awesome. But you are like growing a pretty steady following on TikTok. How did you first come into doing TTRPG content or D&D content on TikTok?
Oh, well, I am very much a student of social media and understanding how to create content. And my vast research has said, talk about what you know,
Right.
because that's the only way you'll be consistent. And so I know me some Dungeons and Dragons. uh, and in being ingratiated into community and creating content, I got this wonderful opportunity to be like, oh, there's a lot of people out here, and it's way easier to create content when you're not in a bubble. Uh,
Yes. Yes.
yeah. So
So,
yeah, people ask me questions, and I was like, okay, I'll answer this question, and people disagree with me. I'm like, oh, and I'll huff and puff, and I'll make a very aggressive response, and it's just a cycle.
oh, your responses are awesome, and we'll get into it in a second. So, um, it's look TTRPGs in general niche, but I think pretty much everyone knows Dungeons and Dragons. So, um, how do you maintain just talking about D&D as opposed to Pathfinder or Vampire the Masquerade or some other TTRPG?
I don't like those games.
Oh,
That is
really?
why.
Okay.
And yeah, and probably one of the things like that I get a lot is that I have these really harsh takes, these really like severe, far end of spectrum takes, which are like, yeah, I don't enjoy Vampire the Masquerade, and it's not that I don't have the books,
Right.
and it's not that I don't go through them. I read them dutifully because I'm of the sort that you shouldn't disparage something unless you know about it.
Right.
And so I'll tear through the whole entire thing and I'll try the game out, and I need crunchy combat.
Mm,
It's so important for me to be able to be as gritty as possible.
right.
Pathfinder is just basically another game. That's fine. So like Vampire Masquerade, Powered by the Apocalypse games,
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
so hard for me. It's so hard. Yeah.
It's like a hard no. It's like a hard pass for you. uh,
Yeah, role play is fine. I need to crunch numbers.
you need well, we're gonna get into that because you have some really. I like your takes on there because they're kind of
Thank
opposite
you.
for me, but they're very well thought out, and I love them. So we're gonna talk about it. But first, I want to know MxlPxl. I know where the name comes from, but tell everyone else where the name comes from.
No, it doesn't come from anything.
Really?
No, it doesn't come from anything at all. I have been instructed that it comes from a Batman
Yeah.
character,
Mm-hmm.
and I was like, we don't spell our names the same. Um,
Oh.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Oh.
I went by disconnected for 25 years,
Mm-hmm.
and then when I got on TikTok, no, when I was on World of Warcraft, I made that like that name again, and then someone had it. I was like, how dare they? I'm gonna take it. I'm gonna create a name with no vowels. There's no way someone has a name with no vowels in it, and that's where that came from.
Really? Oh,
Truly.
I was like, oh wow, he must be a Batman fan, and you're like, nope. Like,
uh, Once again, big Batman hater. Uh,
really?
I take these really severe takes. Yeah, I'm not down with the child endangerment, especially after I became a dad.
Oh, that's oh my god, that is hilarious. I love that. So, um, Dungeons and Dragons is starting to become like a mainstream thing on social media, specifically like TikTok, um, with and YouTube with like the rise of Critical Role and Dimension 20 and other like live action play or live play groups. How do you think with the newfound popularity and people wanting to get to know it more, is it gonna change the game if at all?
Well, as a historian,
Mm-hmm.
professionally, academically, uh, looking at trends of arts and culture,
Mm-hmm.
things become commodified
Yeah.
and they become just manipulated by people outside of the artist's control.
Mm-hmm.
And eventually they get just so juiced with money that they become obsolete.
Yeah.
And we just look for the next thing. So let's just ride this TTRPG wave until, radio kills the pop star.
That's awesome. So do you plan on DMing for like? Are you a forever DM like some people say, or are you like, do you play once in a while, or you just this is just what you do?
You identified me fully. I
Mm,
am a forever DM intentionally.
okay. Okay.
Yeah, I know. I think that term is used disparagingly. People don't want to be called that,
Mm-hmm.
but my need for control and talking and playing really works as a DM.
Okay.
It's you get to play 12 times and everybody else just has to play once.
I like you put a specific number on it, but that's hilarious. Um, with the different ways that you're growing on social media, how do you find the differences between TikTok and Instagram, all the different communities? Because Instagram is very different from TikTok, specifically in the comment section. How do you see those communities as being different, if at all, or are they same for you?
For me, people follow me on Instagram because they saw my TikTok account.
Okay.
Yeah, there's truly is like an osmosis between social medias, but then when those communities start to grow, they do act more bestial.
Mm-hmm. That is a
So
not. I love that term. The bestial is the right term, I think.
yeah, yeah. And so I would say on Instagram it very much is a more commercial response, where on TikTok it's feral.
Yes.
And so they're two creatures, and one you don't want to put your hand in the cage.
Yeah, yeah. Right, I agree. I agree. Speaking of TikTok, I kind of want to touch on some of your content because, like you said, you have some very strong takes that are very opposite of the popular opinion of D&D players. Specifically, one where you recently said that you don't like theater of the mind. Why? Like I've seen a TikTok, but why don't you like theater of the mind?
Let me count the ways. Uh, well, first and foremost, beyond my feelings towards it, because I'm a fresh GM and I play with so many people, a lot of folks have aphantasia, where being able to imagine the things that I say is just not, it's a obstacle. There's no way they
Okay.
can play that way, but they want to play D&D.
Right.
And this is someone who serves that. I can't, just be of theater of the mind for them, and I just have so many players. There's just like, as someone who serves a public, I can't do that.
Yeah.
As an educator, that's the same thing. When we do experiments and when we teach things, we always model it first.
Right.
So we be it first before we expect them to know it. And as a GM, I just I feel like this is work. I'm working hard, and I don't charge cheap. Like, I'm not
Right.
250 an hour.
Right.
So when people come to my games, they're like, "Why do I bother even being here? If you're not going to throw a lot of stuff at us." And
Okay.
so like when I used to run games at my house, I freaking I have like a freaking
Oh, that's so cool.
Bahamut over here. I have Imarith. Like, I have so many miniatures because they came to have a show,
Right.
and you got to see a show.
Right.
Don't you?
Right.
Yeah. So I bring sound effects and animations and graphics, and on my
Awesome.
Discord, I have that. You know how they just implemented the sound features, the
Yes. Yes.
soundboard features.
Mm-hmm.
So I use that relentlessly. Every meme you could think, from the WWE to Rick and Morty, all of it is, it's a riot. It's Roblox and Minecraft, and we're hitting that thing all the time. So just not having to imagine it and being able to see it just feels more professional to me.
Okay.
I know people are going to come after my neck. That's
Yeah.
fine. That's fine. As if it hasn't happened already.
I get it. I mean, look, it's one of those things that people, a lot of people. Oh my God! Thank you so much. Welcome in, Dice Legends. Welcome to the party. Thank you, Raiders. Welcome in.
Hello.
Welcome in, Raiders. Hey, Myth. Welcome in. Thank you, Raiders. We are talking with MxlPxl from TikTok. He's a professional dungeon master and an amazing person. Hi, Dice. Hi, Vahid. Hello, everyone. You guys are amazing. Thank you for coming in. We just started. Um, he has some great takes, and I think that it's absolutely amazing. And we were just talking about how he doesn't like theater of the mind, and how he feels like people are probably going to come for him for it, but that's okay. But so tell us. I'm sorry, but continue. I didn't mean to do that. We're doing great. Um, as always, you guys are amazing. Dice Legends, by the way, is a D&D live play that is based in New Zealand, and they are amazing. I have Fahid on the show a couple times, and you need to check them out, please, on YouTube as well as on Twitch. No spoilers, because I haven't caught up to the season. No spoilers. Anyway, I'm sorry, but continue. Why not? Why not theater? I mean, you were telling me like theater of the mind, you because of that. But is there any other reason other than the fact that you're putting on a show for your for the people who pay for you?
For me personally, when it comes to being a player at a table, I have had GMs do theater of the mind to me, and I feel like if I didn't have the improvisational skills and I wasn't someone who consumed vast amounts of media, I would be lost.
Right.
And so it's a personal, it's a professional, it's an academic. I cannot. Let me take a second. I disagree with anyone who believes theater of the mind is necessary or superior to having miniatures and tokens and battle maps and all of those things. There's just
Right.
so much that you could bring to a table, and so
Okay.
I try and bring everything I can.
Another take that you had, which I thought was super interesting, was that uh, you talked about stars and wishes before, but you also talked about I believe the title was "Shut Up About Session Zero." And I was like, man, these are like the absolute opposite takes of what people normally like. People are always harp on Session Zero. Like, I'm one of those people. Like, I'm a big proponent of Session Zero, but why that title and why that video?
Session zero is necessary for every game master. Yes, that's not the answer to every question. 1 plus 2 isn't 4.
Right.
Like, stop. it's so annoying when a GM gets on and asks the universe, just ask anybody who can help them out, hey, I had a player who's been having trouble in this game and I really want to help them out and there's this huge misstep. I don't know what to do. And the answer is always, well, you should have fixed it.
Right.
You shoulda, woulda, coulda. I don't care about shoulda, woulda, couldas. I'm here for now, bud. We need help today. Like what are so is that the advice is if you can't fix a problem in the moment, don't be a game master is nonsensical.
Right, right.
And I I feel like a lot of the advice that goes out there is just let it go. There's no fix to it. Sometimes bad things just happen. And I
Okay.
completely disagree.
Okay.
There are ways to help. Eventually there's going to come to the point where nothing can be done. Sure, certainly. Can that be the fourth choice? Does that have to be the first one?
Right. I love that. I love that. So, the other one that you were touched on, I had said it briefly just a while ago, was Stars and Wishes. So obviously, there's a thing about such, but what about Stars and Wishes? How does that? A lot of people are kind of gravitating toward that more than the actual Session Zero. So what is your take on it, and how should people proceed, or should it just be encompassed into Session Zero?
Stars and Wishes and Session Zero are just frameworks that we use, just scaffolds to understand how to
Mm-hmm.
communicate with ourselves and communicate better to other people. It is self reflection, and then it's also translating that information to other people.
Right.
If there was no such thing as Session Zero and there was no such thing as Stars and Wishes, we just call it excellent communication,
Yes.
which is hard to do. Uh, and also, varying people play D&D. You got 9-year-olds, you got people who are 75, 78 years old playing
Mm-hmm.
D&D, and communicating between the ages and the cultures is so hard.
Yeah.
So design a structure. Thank you for
Mm-hmm.
making something where I can just like hit a bullet points, and then we communicated correctly.
Right.
Uh, Not perfect. Stars and Wishes is not perfect, obviously,
Mm-hmm.
but just taking a second to step away from just reveling at the end of the game and be like, ah, that was a fun game. That was 7 hours of gaming. I'm tired, and just thinking about it, just going back and be like, okay, I'm exhausted, but let me just have a thought here. I had fun. Why? Because of this.
Right.
And I didn't have fun. Why? Because of that.
Right.
I mean, we want as much communication as possible. We're tired at the end of the game. If we can do one thing
Mm-hmm.
that benefits everybody.
Right. Right. So, you a lot of your takes have to do with fantasy and racism. If you go to your TikTok, it is a lot of your videos. What was your thought when people were saying that? I forget who the DM was, but that it's necessary for good storytelling.
They probably blocked me.
Oh, that's because I feel like you were one of the originators of that. Like, yeah.
Yeah, I have found that most people, because I don't speak to it carefully,
Mm-hmm.
I speak to it in a very what's the term? Um, what's the term when you slash and burn? I'm very
Oh,
slash and
yeah, yeah,
burn
slash and burn.
when it comes
Yes.
to that kind of stuff. Yeah, so I gut my own following
Mm.
when I go after these commenters.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I have lost an amount of people that I enjoy discourse with because my
Mm.
takes are usually heavy, and it's not targeted at any person, but it's targeted at the content.
Okay.
Um,
Okay.
but yeah, um, how did I feel when someone said fantasy racism was necessary? That's just lazy storytelling.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's just super lazy storytelling. I teach colonialism, imperialism, colonization all year long.
Right.
That's what I
Yeah.
do in the classroom. Write essays on
Mm-hmm.
it and everything like that. And there are other stories. There are different stories, more sensitive stories, stories that you can tell that don't hurt anybody. And
Mm-hmm.
so, why go for triggering someone's traumas when you're not an expert at it?
Right.
If anybody would be an expert at it, it would be someone who went to college for it, right, and has a couple of graduate degrees. I think if anybody would to call it like scholarly, I could, and I don't, and I won't,
Right, right,
because I know better. So if
right.
I know better, who the are you?
I love I love that you have the same sounds in your neighborhood as do mine. When New York City doesn't be quiet, just because you're streaming, like New York
I
City's.
say it. I say it all the time when I'm playing D&D. All the time, I'm like, guys, I live in New York. Yeah, fire truck. Yeah,
Yeah,
ambulances. Yeah.
it just you're gonna hear, you know, freaking car alarms from 1982. Just bear with me. So
Same.
you are a like you said, you are a full time teacher as well as a full time dungeon master. How do you balance adulting and DMing and holding on to and maintaining your TTRPG community?
It's it's not easy,
Mm,
especially because the way TikTok works, depending on how you post your videos, it will hit the geographic region where
yes.
you posted it. So if you see any of my videos in my car, I'm posting them in front of my school.
Right.
So my kids get those TikToks.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Uh,
Okay.
so, okay, clarification: high school or middle
High
school?
school.
Okay,
Well, not
okay.
middle school anymore, but high school used to be, oh, the cutest. Yeah, I had the cutest stories about the students seeing my TikToks and be like, oh, I watched your TikTok and now I want to play Dungeons and Dragons. So
Aww.
sometimes being a teacher and being a professional GM, when they overlap, they're so cute.
That's
And,
adorable.
they feed each other. Oh my God. I had this one student who I had taught back in 2016 who
Mm.
just reached out to me on Discord because she found me on TikTok. And she's like, "Oh, Mr. Ramen, you taught us D&D. I learned how to become a nerd, and I went to my first RenCon, Ren Fair,
Aww.
RenCon. I'm a
Red.
clown. Sorry, because we were talking about Gen Con the other day.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's like, oh look, and I'm a tiefling, and it's so great. And how do you find a D&D table in New York? It's impossible.
It's there's whole websites. Mine is one, but anyway, I digress. You know.
Yeah, I was like, that's the energy. That's D&D in New York,
Oh my
baby.
god, that is adorable. I love that. So
Hmm.
now that leads me to another question. Then, have you ever DM'd for kids in your class?
Always. Oh,
Really?
that's how I teach my class. Yeah,
Okay.
that's how I. When I taught middle school, I'm Muslim,
Okay.
and I teach in the Bronx. So there's a lot of immigrant students who come from African, like
Mm-hmm.
different countries who are Muslim. They come over here, and then during Ramadan, which is a month of no eating,
Right.
and the cafeteria is kind of the place where everybody has fun.
Mm-hmm.
It is so sad to just sit there and twiddle your thumbs and look around everybody eating and having fun while you're suffering and
Right.
starving.
I know. I feel
So
bad for them. I always used to feel bad for my friends. I used to like not eat that. Like I'd be like, okay, I'll meet you guys. I'll go eat lunch and I'll come hang out with them. Like I would do something like that, if I knew I
yeah,
couldn't handle it. So, but because I always felt bad.
yeah. 7 years I taught during lunch Dungeons and Dragons for those kids
Oh,
specifically.
that's amazing.
Yeah, so they would not go to lunch. They'd come up, and I'd be like, here's some battle maps, everybody. Let's roll
Mm-hmm.
dice. Let's play pretend. And all these little kids with broken English
Mm-hmm.
learning how to do quick arithmetic and
Mm-hmm.
reading the player's handbook, because I was playing D&D prior to D&D Beyond's like massive success.
Yes.
So I had 12 player handbooks on me
Mm-hmm.
just
Mm-hmm.
because. And then when I started teaching, I would hand them out and be like, okay, so let's make our classes, let's build story, here's some dry erase markers. And so I did that for middle school for a long time, and then when I moved on to being a high school teacher, I brought that along as well.
Mm-hmm.
So every school that I've ever been in, every day I play Dungeons and Dragons
Oh,
in that building.
that is the coolest thing I've heard. So, like that is so cool. Like I couldn't imagine being a high school student and like having a teacher like run a game for me. I'd be in school all the time. I mean, like it'd be never ending. Like, are you coming home? No, I'm running. My history teacher's running a D&D game, Mom. I can't come home.
Yeah,
So,
it kept kids off the street at a time, because I teach in a really bad district.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And at the time there were some horrible things happening on the block.
Yeah.
I remember I remember the police doing a raid in an apartment building 2 blocks
Mm-hmm.
away from the school, and they had to arrest like 75 gang members from
Right.
that one apartment complex. And so it was like, we cannot be on the street.
Right.
And I was like,
Right.
good, let's just roll dice and play pretend.
Yeah. Like so let's forget what's going on out there. We'll just do this. Let's do this in here. This is much more fun. Um, So you, as a person of color, DMing and running these tables is not the norm. Um, how what obstacles have you faced when you started doing it professionally?
I okay. I think aside from me,
Hmm.
I have three players who aren't white.
Okay. Okay.
And yeah, and that's out of like 30 players.
Oh wow. Wow. Wow.
Why are you making me do this statistic?
Wow. Well, you're the one that said you like crunchy. I'm not the one that said
Oh
it.
yeah, yeah, no, you're right. You set that up for me. Yeah, and I fell for it. Hook, line, and sinker for sure. Yeah, so my minority status is involved with being Filipino and Bengali.
Hmm. Hmm.
The Philippines being a country that was owned by America for about 100 years. Uh, American, not English, but American is a huge part of our culture.
Hmm.
And so being able to take all of that, like all of that knowledge that I picked up from my mom and driving in the car and listening to 80s music and just being like a goofball, all of that translated very well.
Okay.
And so when I do it, it's dorky. It's super corny. And they're like, why are you playing Journey for the 12th time? What is this, Glee?
Journey. So you're like, oh Sherry, that whole thing.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
Really?
yeah. I'm white coded. Like when it comes to D&D, it is so white coded. It
I
is like
love
a
that you're
blast.
playing. I love that you're playing Journey during your games. That is the best. I can't even think where that would belong in a
Ario
story.
Speedwagon. Oh my god, losing my religion gets a repeat for all the clerics and paladins out there. You know, Oathbreakers.
Oh my gosh! Like I'm getting a very like WWD esque type table thinking of my mind right now. Oh my god, that's
Yeah.
amazing. I love that. Um,
Yeah, we
so
had fun.
now now I'm thinking like Journey. How does Journey fit in D&D? Like what? Like,
Hey,
so
a lot of bards out there.
true, very true, very true. But I want to touch on a little bit on how Wizards of the Coast, um, has been doing the. Everyone knows who that. Welcome everyone. If you don't know me, Watsy is my ways to piss people. I can't stand them. Anyway, so I love Dungeons and Dragons. I love TTRPGs, but Wizards of the Coast and Hasbro irritate me. And they have lately done some redesign and some little bit of missteps here and there, if you could call them missteps. One of which is where they have redesigned the D&D marketplace. So they have gotten rid of the a la carte system. They've pretty much said that if you want these things, you have to buy our books at full price. If you already own them a la carte, we are taking them away because you don't owe them. Technically, only you've been renting them. If you want them for real, buy the book. What is your opinion on these new schemes that gaming, WotC in particular, but other gaming companies have done, um, or have insisted on in making it harder for their consumers to access the games that we inherently love?
When D&D Beyond first came out and it was an
Mm-hmm.
independent company, I
Mm-hmm.
met them at Gen Con in 2015
Oh wow.
and they gave me their first prototype for their app,
Okay.
which allowed you to have all of the content that you
Yes.
purchased on the app. And they created D&D Beyond apps after that, which excluded those features like
Mm-hmm.
character sheets and stuff like that.
Right.
So I was like, oh, they had a good heart.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then someone said, "Here's, let me put this money in your pocket." And
Mm-hmm.
then I was like, "Oh, so I have this predecessor app that I still have on my iPhone. I don't know, 10 or something,
Yeah.
with all this like cool stuff that they used to have." And when D&D Beyond sold itself to Wizards, I was like,
Mm.
this is the start of the end. And then all the
Yes.
people that I loved who were in D&D Beyond started leaving and creating their own companies. And I knew something was wrong. So
Right.
that's when I hard shifted over to just Roll20 content.
Okay.
So
Okay.
I own nothing on D&D Beyond as of today. Like I don't have a subscription or nothing. And then when the Hadozi stuff came out, yikes. I was like, yeah. Um,
Oh,
I
Dozy.
yeah, right. So I was like, I
I have
hate D&D
not
Beyond.
touched Hadozi. I,
I
yeah.
I mean, why'd they do that?
I
I
don't
wanted to
know.
have
I
fun.
know.
I wanted to do it, and Filipinos have their own relationships when it comes
Yeah.
to that kind of tribal stuff. So it's like fucking okay. Sorry, am I allowed to say that? Can I
No, you
curse?
can tell. Okay, so this is a 18 plus stream. Cursing is perfectly fine. There are warnings on my stream, so yeah, it's fine. It's perfectly okay.
Yeah. So them taking apart
Mm,
content and then selling and used to be selling piece by piece was their last saving grace, and now
okay.
that you have to buy it all together as a single book
Sad and
I hope
upsetting.
I hope it's over. I hope they crash and burn like D&D Beyond specifically.
I love how like all my guests say the same thing when I ask this question. They go, "I really hope they die a horrible, disgusting death. I don't want D&D to go away, but yeah." So, but if you, they've also sanitized D&D in an attempt to be more inclusive, where they've taken out a lot of how they used to have drows being evil. They've taken that problematic stuff out, but they've also taken out everything else in an attempt to be more inclusive. Do you agree with the direction that they're going in general? And what would you have done if you were in charge over at Watsy?
I am going to be 37 years old in a couple of days. I'm kind of old. Uh, so when I had the opportunity to play Drow and Menzo Branson and the Underdark and all that stuff, and I first saw that lore, I was like, "Oh, interesting."
Mm-hmm.
But when I ingratiated myself in this community and I learned more about it, I was like,
Mm-hmm.
"Oh, this is horrifyingly offensive, and
Right.
there's no way that this can be okay." Uh, so early years me would have been
Mm-hmm.
a little defensive, but today I love all the changes.
Okay.
uh, Getting away from race and switching to species is better in terms of vocabulary.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
They could do more, but I do enjoy all of the changes. I hope they continue to make those changes to be more inclusive, because I know a lot of people who saw D&D and was like, I don't see myself in any of these
Right.
things,
Right.
which is valid.
Right.
I and sometimes I see myself too much in these things and I don't like
I
it.
don't like it.
I
It
don't
isn't
like it.
fun. I don't enjoy it. So they are also the new PHB. I want to touch the new PHB. I Some of the things I love. There are some things that I'm kind of like, this is gonna be so much fun as a DM, like counter spelling divine smite. I can't wait. There,
You're bad.
I cannot wait to counter spell divine smite.
That's so
If
fucked
you're
up.
listening and you know who you are, if you know who you are, it's coming. So some of the things are great. Some of the things are not so great. Like they took out Artificer. What do you think of the new PHB? And do you think that it's going to be the same reception as when 4E came out and everyone either stayed with 3.5 or went to Pathfinder?
Oh goodness. Yeah. I would say professional GMing as it stands today is way more advanced than it was 20 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And so for those of us that make an income on it, I think the majority of people are going to move with the new player's handbook.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, because and I just picked up a brand new player, and when I say new, I don't mean new to me. I mean new to the. Sorry about the fireworks. I'm
Yeah, I know.
so
I'm having some
sorry.
moments. Those are fireworks. I promise.
Yeah, new to the hobby,
Right. Right.
and I said I know exactly what's going to happen when people want to play D&D, and the new player's handbook's going to come out. They're going to go to their friendly local game store and see what's on the shelf, pick it up, pay it, and like I now can learn D&D.
Right.
And then he was laughing because like you just said everything I literally did before coming to this table.
Oh wow.
And
Oh,
it's
wow.
like I know how commercialism works. If we
Mm-hmm.
want to make money, we have to be on the cutting edge.
Oh, that's
That's
amazing.
just that's just the professionalism of it, unfortunately. Now, what's actually in the book,
Mm-hmm.
from a professional standpoint, it doesn't matter.
Right.
It
Okay.
doesn't,
Okay.
for a professional standpoint, it doesn't matter because if it makes dollars, it makes sense.
Okay.
You know,
Right.
I do agree with you about counterspelling Divine Smite. I think that's hilarious. Uh, I use horrifying monsters in my
Mm-hmm.
combats, extremely gritty ones,
Mm-hmm.
and so like if you want to swap monsters, I could tell you how to make your paladins cry and like one thing that a lot of paladins have, I would say paladin players, is there's a lot of self-sacrifice there.
Yes. Yeah.
And I think the reason why is because they know how overpowered their builds are. And so self-sacrificing is very hard to do
Right.
because
Right.
it's hard to get. And I was like,
Well,
okay.
this is gonna be fun. I think it's gonna be fun. For everyone who doesn't know, I recently implemented a new. I don't know if I want to call it an instance or a program, but anyway, if you ask a question, um, where we ask questions to our guests after the stream, and I find it extremely interesting. I added to my permanent list of things that I ask, and one of them was from Batty Bards on Friday. And if it is and was, if you invented magic in D&D and TTRPG, how would it be different and how would you make it better?
Ooh, if I invented
Such a
magic,
good question.
yeah. I always like the idea of mana over spell slots.
Okay, okay. Mm.
Yeah, I feel like I should be able to cast multiple times the same spell because I have enough mana to do so, and I should be able to drink a mana potion and be able to cast
Right.
the spells again.
Yeah.
It's so limiting, and it seems unrealistic to be so limiting.
Right, right.
Yeah, so that's my answer. So I guess it's like a 4E kind of answer. It's kind of like, like a video gamey kind of answer, but
Mm-hmm.
it can't be helped. All of these worlds are kind of intermingling now.
Right, right. So, as a 4E person, shush, shush, shush. As a 4E person, even though it is crunchy and video gamey, it's still fun. Um, do you believe that the people who will stick with 5E, even though they say that the new PHP is backwards compatible, will be taking things from the new PHP?
The new PHP honestly is taking things from like Tasha's and
Mm-hmm.
Fizbin's,
Mm-hmm.
and I it's hard to say who the things belong to anymore. You know, like does Mordenkainen's Tome of Foes belong to
Yes.
fifth edition anymore? Ugh, it came out like
Mm,
10 years later. It's not
not real.
yours.
It's not yours. It belongs to everyone. um,
Yeah.
so I have to ask this question because you talked about it before, but um, are you a mini collector or are you a dice goblin? Like which one? Which one is where you have like a lot of everything?
Both.
Okay.
I have a lot of both.
Mm-hmm.
I I am approaching 2000 die easily.
Holy crap!
Easily. I don't even have to imagine it. You can find die under my couch, next to my TV, in the bathroom, behind kitchen counters, between slices of bread, in the refrigerator. I am not kidding. I was in my garden the other day, and I was like trying to take weeds out, and there was
Mm-hmm.
D4s in the dirt. I was like, that's weird.
Why
it's
are there
are
D4s in your garden?
are they growing here?
like, what?
It's
What is
not even my
happening?
garden. It's my mom's garden. I'm like, why does my mom have dye? It makes no sense at all. But there's dice everywhere. I find them in the streets. I know I'm the only one who plays D&D. And I know the sets that they come from. You
Oh
know, I
my
mean,
gosh.
I have a Pringle lid here. There's dice in a Pringle lid. There's no reason for there to be dice in the Pringle lid because I have a very nice box full of dice here too. Like it's not a joke. So I have a lot of die
Mm.
because I play with a lot of people. When I go to school, I went to what's the name of the store? Like it's not a Target, but it's next to a Home Depot around me, whatever. And they have 16 compartment boxes, and I just put the labels of my students. I put the name in there. I throw it in the box, and that's 16 boxes of die that I bring to school.
So I
So
love that you use Dungeons and Dragons in teaching school in your high school. Do your students follow you on like not only on TikTok, but do they follow you on Roll20? Do they try to like
hell no,
really?
I block them so fast. There's no
So
way.
why not? Like they want to if they want to play, pay to play. Why not?
So that's illegal. As an
You know
educator, you
what?
can't take money from students. So that's fully illegal regardless.
So
But aside from that,
if their
yeah,
parents paid for them,
no, it's still like you can't do that.
okay.
Yeah. Yeah, you can't do that. If you were like tutoring them,
Mm,
that's different, but I'm a social studies teacher. So
okay. So
I mean,
yeah.
I'm also the financial literacy teacher, so
Hmm.
and I'm also like the coding programming teacher, but none of that says
Yeah,
roll
no,
dice.
roll dice.
Yeah.
Say roll
So
dice.
yeah, I don't teach theater, but yeah, also I also have a lot of minis for them to paint.
Okay, so there you go.
Yeah, so I
Um,
bring them to.
so quick question. So you also not only DM for hire, but you also teach people how to DM, which I think is an interesting way to go about being a professional DM. Um, with that unique approach, what advice would you give someone trying to emulate what you do, not only on social media but also professionally?
Join TTRPG Talk.
Okay.
Everybody has advice. Nobody is wrong per se. There's gems everywhere.
Hmm.
And I would also say like um, quantity over quality,
Okay.
because eventually when you have so much advice, the good ones will stick and the bad ones will melt away.
Hmm.
Yeah, I cannot stress how valuable the community is to me on TikTok.
It really is. Like I've had so many people just like up and I've discovered so many people just from TikTok alone. It's amazing. Um, you mentioned before that you take what you do very very seriously, and it sounds like you do a lot of prep. So do do you how do you do all that type of prep before your game with being a full time high school teacher? Um, Specifically because you do use battle maps, you do use minis, you do use sound, you use a lot of actual things that are very tactile in your games. How do you prep for all of that?
Two things. First, my universe is connected.
Okay.
So, with everything being consistent and the lack of like diverse narrative
Mm-hmm.
allows things to make sense for me.
Okay.
So if a player does one thing on Tuesday, it'll impact what happened on Sunday, which will impact what happened again on Wednesday. And then I'll be like, oh, the world is continuous. Everything's moving at the same time. So that's good. Oh, I also exclusively run modules. I
Okay.
don't do any homebrew at
You
all.
just answered the next question, but go ahead. No, so there's no homebrew.
You always got to improv a little bit,
Mm-hmm.
right? But when it comes to battle maps, I buy all that beforehand, or it's either already in the module.
Mm-hmm.
And there's so many resources that exist now when it comes to cool new monsters you could purchase, or like just other kind of tokens and things like that. Where prep is so simple. I know the advice used to be if you're playing for 3 hours, prep for 3 hours.
Right.
I think I prep for 25 minutes.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. 25 minutes. So hold on a second. So with all the sound and audio that you do, with all, I'm not even gonna count the maps. The sound and audio, prepping for Roll20 stuff because Roll20 can be a little glitchy sometimes, and um, deciding where and how the story goes. 20 minutes.
Yeah,
Wow.
about 20-25 minutes where I'll have 6 players, and each of them has their own thing that they really want to do at the end of the game, the story that they want to tell.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll roll a die and be like, okay, it's Sean's turn,
Okay.
and then
Okay.
we'll tell Sean's storyline for the day. And Sean wanted to fall in love with one of the PCs in the game. Okay, so we set up a scene for that,
Okay.
and that's an hour and a half.
Oh, that's amazing. Right.
Like
Right.
that's really how it goes. And so my games are only about 3 hours long.
Okay. Okay.
2 or 3 scenes, and that's the session.
I mean, essentially, you're as a professional DM and as someone who does all this stuff by himself. You're a performer. What regrets or mistakes that you made at your tables, or even just playing in general? Um, do you have?
Or how familiar are you with Magic the Gathering?
Okay, so I used to be very familiar with the old system of Magic the Gathering back in none of your business. I'm not telling you the year. Um, So I had a lot. Like I had a boyfriend that gave me like racks and racks of cards because he owned a comic book store. Um, but yeah, I used to be very familiar with it. I'm not familiar with it now from what I'm hearing with a lot of a lot of changes they've made. So I'm not quite sure where where they're at.
So like old vocabulary is
Mm,
basically what I was reaching for. And for those of you that are watching and don't know a lot of Magic the Gathering, one terminology is when a creature has a lot of hit points. Typically, that's a green card creature. You call that creature. Do you know?
I
Okay.
refuse to answer on the on the grounds I might incriminate myself.
Certainly, certainly. So I was playing D&D, and we were in pitched combat as
Mm,
per the usual, and it's gritty, gritty, gritty. And one of our players was kind of in the middle of it and trying to figure out what to do, and everybody was freaking out. They're like, "What are we gonna do? She's in the middle of it. She's gonna get decimated."
yeah.
And I saw it was a high level cleric with the
Mm,
heaviest armor, and clerics have huge hit points,
yes.
and I was like, "Guys, I you have nothing to worry about.
It's okay.
Nobody is healthier than her."
She's
And
okay.
she is okayer than any of you. You should be worrying about yourselves. You don't understand how unstressed you should be.
Right.
And so got into the Discord afterwards and be like, I really didn't appreciate how Andrew said this thing about me, and I've never described my body this way before. And because Andrew had said it, I'm really uncomfortable, and I would prefer it if you never said that before. And if something like that happens again, I think I'm going to leave the table. And then, unfortunately, at my expense, nobody else at the table had played Magic the Gathering either. So no one came to my defense. They just kept going. They thought I was being cheeky or something,
Yes.
and they
Yes.
just let it go. And then I was like, okay, as an academic, as a researcher, let's go. So I dredged out like 7 articles,
Mhm. Mhm.
several YouTube instances, and just like Wikipedia pages on
Mhm.
evidence of like, this is why I said what I said. There's precedence for this, and it's just colloquialism.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Um, that was the most recent regret I think I had.
Oh wow. Well, on that note, then, what is the most important life lesson you've learned from gaming?
Let's just fully shift gears. Yeah. Uh I think I have been raised very machismo my whole life. It's part of the
Mm,
colonial upbringing. And I didn't really know a lot of the traumas
mm,
that educated or informed the way that I reacted to people and things like that. D&D has allowed a lot of that to surface.
okay.
And hey, knowledge is power, right? So
Yeah.
you're saying a positive thing. I learned these negative things and could make them a positive thing, and that just is very educational for me. And we joke about it all the time. It's like, what's the deal with D&D players and abandonment issues?
Wow.
I was
Wow.
like,
I think you're gonna touch a bunch of people in chat's nerve a little bit
that
because
freaking red laser off of my forehead.
like, oh my god,
Bam.
hush, jeez, oh my god.
Yeah.
Um, so how do you guide your one-on-one DM sessions when you're teaching someone how to DM? How you guide your clients to success? How do you, you know, what's your plan on making it different for each client, but also guiding them to a successful professional or hobbyist career?
A lot of times when people want to be taught, what
Mm,
they want is they want a lecture of
okay.
instruction, I find, but that isn't as helpful as the questions that they ask. And so being able to get to the questions first is more valuable than being able to get to the answers.
Right.
So things like, if I want to be a game master, how do I give my players fun? It's like, whoa.
What?
And
Give.
yeah, so instead of me being like, well, these are the fun things in the world, it's really important to see what their perception of fun is.
Hmm.
So if the game master sees Broadway musicals and like Hamilton and Wicked and all those things as this is what fun is,
Right.
then that's going to be your brand.
Right.
and your job now is not to mold yourself to them, but to be a commercial and advertisement for yourself. And so really it's just like, what is the question?
Right.
And then from the question the answers come out. So I've had clients who did not understand safety tools.
Mm.
I've had clients that just want to figure out how to run Roll20 APIs.
Really?
And oh yeah, and it's like, yeah, we could do that for days.
Like, so I just want to do that. I don't want to do anything else but that.
Yeah. Tell me how to do a great weapon mastery swing damage while the macro subtracts 5 and then a divine smite and make it so that I can toggle if they're undead or not, and if I crit, if I don't, and which spell slot I want to use, and make that one button. It's like, yeah, we'll make that one button.
Oh wow, wow, that's very specific. But okay,
Yes, it is.
like very specific. Um, it's always been my opinion that people who do streaming, and all these different things, especially if you're by yourself and don't have a team, that you are essentially like this undiscovered producer, actor, um, director. You do all these different hats. Um, where do you see yourself in these roles, um, going forward outside of this and moving forward? And do you plan on moving forward with them in the future and expanding on them?
I don't like the streaming part. That's so hard. And
It
these
is.
successful streamers,
It's so hard.
it's so hard.
It
It's
is.
if my if my camera were to die right now and we
Mm-hmm.
were on Discord, your screen would be all over the place just because my one camera was out
Right.
of commission. Oh, it's so annoying.
Yeah.
And anyone who has a good stream probably has somebody working on it on the side.
No.
So,
No.
so please, I don't want to. Yeah, if
So
I could just
yeah.
be a GM, I'd be happy to.
But
Yeah.
unfortunately, so how heavily do you think that social media is playing into your professional GM business?
Aside from advice, it doesn't really get a lot of players into the tables.
Okay.
Yeah, I find posters and commercials, ads on like Facebook and such do a lot better job of drawing
Okay.
income.
Ooh,
If we're
nice.
just talking about dollar bills.
Yeah. Yeah.
But when you say professionalism like professional development,
Mhm.
nothing could be more valuable.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Um. So I also believe that people need to have a certain personality to do this. What is a personality strength or trait that you think someone would need to work in this TTRPG industry to be successful?
You have to be willing to get knocked down often.
Mm,
I think just like any business, 75% failure
yeah.
and thrive for that 35. Just beg it for that 35. And if it ever looks like 50%, you're fooling yourself.
Yeah. Like, how are you getting 50? Shut up. Um, like, oh my gosh, yeah, that's 100% right. So,
Hmm.
um, I know you said that you don't enjoy Vampire the Masquerade, and that
Yeah.
you essentially think that Pathfinder's still D&D. But outside of D&D, do you have a favorite TTRPG that you play at all, or even enjoy?
Uh, Goodness. No, but I do play a lot of them professionally
Okay,
because if it makes dollars, it makes sense.
right.
I play Avatar Legends. I have played Brindlewood Bay. I've played a lot of those like Goblins in a Trench Coat,
Mm-hmm.
Crash Pandas, Thirsty Sword Lesbians. I play often.
Okay, really?
Um,
It's
yeah, I play it a lot. I fucking hate it. It's not. It's
it's
fun.
uh huh.
It's it's fun for what it has,
Mm-hmm.
but then like I want to crit.
Like, I want to crit.
Give me my numbies.
Like, I
um,
need to crit. I need to crit now.
yeah, like
Like,
what it does for what it does, it does fun. But I want to level up. I want to branch out. And I want to multi-class.
mm-hmm.
And it's like come on. What is pretty good is what is that like anime RPG, that JRPG? Um, Fabula Ultima, that one is
Okay.
super exciting because it's like Final Fantasy, where you get to
Okay.
be like a mage and a warrior, and it's all about multi-classing. Like
Right.
if you're not
Right.
multi-classing, you're failing.
Right.
It's so good.
Okay.
Uh, yeah. Um, lots of Power Rangers RPG. Had a chance to go in there. Um, don't like them. I don't know what it
You
is.
don't like any of this. I love that. I love that you're just like, don't, yep, don't like it, don't know why, just
I
don't.
I I play all of them. You gotta, because you
Right.
can't be a hater unless you play them. Like I'm a big Naruto hater, and I
Mhm.
watched every season of Naruto, and I was like, I know literally what you're saying. I can quote the episode. This
Wow.
show is corny.
Wow. That is
Believe it.
rude.
I
Holy
know.
crap.
I know. This is why people don't follow me
So
on TikTok.
they do. You have over 3,000 followers.
I have
Okay.
the yeah. I have violent takes. I am aware.
Speaking of violent takes, you recently asked why is everyone asking to die in your games prior to the summertime? Like, what's going on there, and why did you make that whole video? I'm kind of curious to find out what's happening at your tables where people are
Nice segue.
wanting to die.
Uh, okay. The onus for that video was I was playing in a Dragonlance campaign,
Hmm.
and we were towards the end where sacrifices had to be made, and everyone sent me a DM. It's like, sacrifice me this way. I'm like, I didn't ask you. Sacrifice me that way. I'm not talking to you. Somebody already is going to sacrifice themselves in the same way you want to sacrifice yourself. And it's just, yes, it sounds like death and dying, but
Hmm.
actually it's just love for each other. And they don't
Right.
want to see anyone else go down, so they would rather be the first ones.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's really what it is. And then when the first person went down, they were like, "Oh, is this top tier theater? Give me some of that."
Like
And I was
me,
like,
choose me, be with me.
"Yeah." They were like, "Oh, I'm gonna get so many roses. This is gonna be crazy." And I was like, "No, no, no, stop it! You're
Oh my
supposed to live.
gosh.
Stop it!"
Oh, that's
And,
amazing. I love that. That is hilarious. So,
and yeah, and because all the world is connected,
mhm.
somebody else at a different table will hear about it and like, maybe I want to go out in a blaze of glory. It's like it's a domino effect. It's
Oh,
not
that's
stopping.
funny as all hell. So, you have a couple like tricks and tips for people that you put on TikTok, and one of them was because you use Roll 20 um, to mute everyone else when you're doing speak with animals or something to that effect. How did you come up with that, and how was the reception when you first started doing it?
I came up with it, just pulled it straight out of the dome,
Okay.
just had the thought, and that just happens when you play, thousands and thousands of games. You just become bored with the regular, and your
Right.
mind speaks cool stuff. It's so just coincidentally, I was in the moment, and we're just like, "Oh, you want to talk to that rat?"
Hmm.
And nobody else has speak with animals? Well, then nobody else is allowed to hear this conversation. So they could not hear me, but
Hmm.
they could hear the person who was casting speak with animals speak common. So
Oh
I would
wow.
say something like, "Yeah, my dad used to beat my mother, and then so I had to kill him." And he would go, "You killed your dad?" And everybody at the table would be like,
Like
"The rat
what?
killed their dad?"
Like how did I? Wait a minute. There's DV with the rat. What is happening?
Yeah, yeah. So it would be just the most outlandish conversation between
Mm.
me and plants, me and just like people who spoke a language that other people didn't know the language to. And it's been a feature at my table since.
That's
It's
amazing.
it's a great time where everyone's just trying to figure out what is it? What are we not learning? And if the person who is speaking to whatever comes back to tell us what are they skipping, and it's a
Right. Right.
frustration and it's a secret. It's like it's a cute little thing between me and them.
Oh, that's so cool. So how does it? Was it an effort to cut down on metagaming, or it has it just as a result cut down on your on metagaming at your tables?
uh I don't think my players met a game. I don't think so.
Mm.
Yeah, I just wanted to have joy. I just thought it was a really joyous thing. And yeah, I don't really mind metagaming. And if I notice that someone is cluing into something, I
Hmm.
will just lie and
Oh,
change the story
really?
plot. I will fully just change it.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. There's
So,
nothing more consistent across game masters as gaslighting.
speaking of gaslighting, then, um, I've touched on this before with other guests, where on TikTok there was a little bit of a discourse about how much a dungeon master should um, divulge to their players at the beginning of session zero, but also going forward, whether it's role playing for them or fudging dice. Where are you on disclosure or full disclosure or half disclosure with your players?
If it brings me joy, I will not contain it.
Okay.
And I know a lot of people will be like, we got to keep it a secret, and I'm going to suffer silently. And I refuse to
Mm.
suffer silently when a player hits a creature and it has 5 hit points and they
Mm.
dealt 5 hit points.
Oh,
They don't see it on their end. They have
right,
no idea that it was five and you hit for five and that was it. So
right.
I'll screenshot it and I'll put it on the Discord and I'll be like, everybody, look at the Discord. 3, 2, 1. And it's a riot because they're like, whoa, I can't believe I did so little damage, but the perfect number.
Like there's, that is amazing.
Yeah. And that's like, if it brings me joy, I have to share it. I was speaking with a GM on this on TikTok the other
Mm.
day, and he had stated that all monsters are commentary when it comes to
Mm.
Frankenstein or zombies or Dracula. Every monster is commentary,
Okay.
and I had asked him, I was like, "Tell me all of them." Tell me all the monsters commentary, please. And he was like, it's whatever you want it to be,
Right,
man. It's like,
right.
no, that's more work for
Like,
me, but okay.
don't make me work for that's not fair.
Yeah.
um, so I,
So for like from then on, I would make monsters, and
mhm.
I would be like at the end of the game, I'd be like, okay, so the reason why I put in these monsters that burrowed into your back and possessed you is because da 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 da. And they'd be like, you have a why for your monsters? I'm like, you fucking dead, I do.
Burrowed into your back. Ouch.
And
So,
control your body so you hit the other party members.
oh my god, the visuals I am getting right now are like epic. Like, so, um, I already kind of know the answer based on what we started talking about in the beginning of all this, but I have to ask: rules is written or rule of cool?
Oh, rule of cool unless my
Really?
players rather rules is written.
I thought you would have
Yeah,
said rules is written. I really thought you would have said rules is written.
I we try our best to be rules as written as possible,
Hmm.
but there are like times that it's just not fun.
Right, right.
There's really just times like there was this one situation, it was just this morning,
Mm,
and they wanted to dispel this effect and
okay.
they couldn't because their levels were too low. And I was like, well, let's say that you throw an arcana check on top of your cure wounds.
Mm,
Flex the rules a little bit. Why
okay,
not?
okay.
And it didn't work, but it shouldn't work.
Right,
And
right.
so just the illusion of choice is great.
I love that you say illusion of choice. I love that. Um,
The illusion of cool.
the illusion of cool. So I know you said you play exclusively modules, but do you have a favorite module? Do you homebrew on the side just for the fun of it, or you just how is there a module out there that's just specifically what you enjoy doing and you rather gravitate toward it?
Oh, I like bringing new players into D&D. I like
Okay,
bringing new players into the fold. So my favorite campaigns are ones that are starter campaigns.
okay, okay.
I I've ran them 7, 8 times at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Lost Mines of Phandelver, Tyranny of Dragons, and Dragon of Icespire Peak.
Mm-hmm.
Those are such beginner campaigns
Yeah.
where anybody could just be in there and be like, "Oh, this is what hitting is. Cool. I don't get
Right.
magic till level 2." Meh.
Matt.
But yeah, so I like those beginner things, but like what is a solid campaign? I think because it has dragons in it, Dragonlance.
Okay, okay. Yeah, you mentioned Dragonlance a lot in your TikToks, like about having people like, I'm running a Dragonlance game, come on by, which I love because I could pop in and tell people, like, listen, I'm not running a game, but go over there. I don't know if anyone's done it yet because I haven't followed up, but I send people to you. Um,
Oh, thank you.
you're welcome. So I always ask this question because I love it, but also because I love the reaction. If you could DM for anyone, dead or alive, real or fiction, up to 5 or 6 people, who would it be?
Gross. Oh no. Do they all have to speak English?
No, whoever
Oh
you
my
want to be.
god, that's such a big question. Okay. No, I'm not okay. I would I would love to do some English and French philosophers
Okay.
because nobody knows role play like someone who invented the role. So give me some John Locke, give me some Descartes,
Okay.
yeah, give me some Francis Bacon. Yeah, I think I would like just a round table of Montesquieu, just a round table of philosophers,
Mm-hmm.
and just like throw a problem and see them approach it in five different ways. It'd be so
I love that.
dumb.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing. That's so much fun. So, chat, it's pretty quiet today, but in case they do have questions, we're going to hang out a little bit longer. In the meantime, while we're waiting for any questions that might pop up, tell us what we can expect from you in the next few months from you, MxlPxl, the content creator, the DM, and Andrew, the person.
Oh geez. If I teach you, and I hope I hope that doesn't happen. Unfortunate for you or your kids. I have been constructing a new curriculum which is going to be completely Gen Z coded. So I'm just gonna be like, all right, chat, you gotta listen up. Be so for real right now.
Be so for real. I can't. I can't. I can't. You
Yeah, the
cannot.
cringiest
You
teacher.
cannot be that cringe teacher. It's impossible. You cannot go. Oh my god.
The Declaration of Independence was written in 1776. Chat, is this for real? This is so
So
good.
bad. That is
So
not.
I'm
That is so dad coded, like dad joke coded. Oh my
yeah.
god. That
Yeah,
is
so
amazing.
if I
That's.
teach your kids, get fucked. Um it's gonna suck for you. Um
I can't. I cannot. So since chat doesn't have any questions, I really appreciate you coming. This was so much fun. I really enjoyed it. I always ask my guests who are familiar with Twitch to guide our raid. If you are on, take a look at who's on for you. And let us know where we're going. In the meantime, everyone, I'm going to let you know what we're going to do for the next week. So, no stream for next week, and I'll tell you what, I'll be at Gen Con. Well, I can't say no stream, we're working on it. So while I'm at Gen Con, I probably will be doing some like short lives here and there and talking to people, walking around, doing those type of things. Plus, I might have one guest. We're still working on the logistics. We'll see how that works out. Hopefully, that guest we could get that guest on. It'll be amazing and have an impromptu, not my normal background stream with we're into that interview that person in person. Also on Tuesday, I will be on So You Want to Be a DM's channel, where I will be playing as a player character. My character is Hedoni, and I am a goddess in his live play. It's super fun. It is college based, and we are right on the verge of initiative. So come by on Tuesday to watch me get murdered. Um, so when I get back, maybe a bunch of other interviews. I can't wait. One of which I'm super excited for is Devin from the co-founder of Start Playing. Um, he will be on with us, and I will make sure to put the date up on Instagram. I'm super excited for that. So, oh wait, good tricks by the way. Enjoyed the stream. Thank you, Saint Vice. Go follow Mixel on Instagram. Follow him on TikTok. He has some amazing takes. And please tell us, sir, where are we rating out to?
is that someone in the chat?
Yes, that was Saint Vice, who is amazing, has great questions. He's like, good tricks, by the way. Enjoyed the stream.
I've had the opportunity to be in one of Justin's games. So you
Just,
want to be a DM?
just,
He's so good.
he's so good. He's
He really
so
is.
good, and it's so much fun. Um, and he's really good at rolling with the nonsense that I tend to put out. Like, 'cause I will, I will just dump something that just pops into my mind, and he can roll with it so well. And I love playing at his table. I can't wait to do it this Tuesday. So yeah.
Yeah. He posted this video where he
Hmm.
was like, the best way to become a good GM is to have a lot of practice.
Yeah.
And because I was in his game, I was like, you're wrong. Because I was in your game and you said a lot of really great stuff. So I know that if I want to be a good GM, I gotta sit at your table. I gotta sit at somebody else's table too. Because it's like
Exactly.
you guys are screaming diamonds for free. So you're wrong.
Like, you're wrong, and you're a
You
meathead, and you're still my
you
friend.
you're wrong. Citation you.
Yeah, exactly. They are an amazing DM. Please check out Justin. Justin is so cool. It's so you want to be a DM. Um, and you can find them here on Twitch, as well as TikTok. And they are so much fun to hang out with, and just amazing as a DM. Please go check them out. So, where are we rating out to? Who are we going? Hold on. I think I might have lost your audio. Hold on a second here. Oh, no, I got you back. Okay, so all right, Mixel, where are we rating out to?
Me?
Yes,
Oh,
you're
good grief.
yeah.
Grade out to tabletop notch.
Oh, and I love them. They are at the top of my list because they are so cool. I enjoy them
Yeah.
immensely, um, and they are, as always, playing Dungeons and Dragons. So we are rating out the tabletop notch. They are so cool. Please hang out and enjoy the raid. If you enjoy their content, give them a follow. Watch them a few minutes, and if you really enjoy the content, subscribe. It's so much fun. And as always, it's better to be kind than to be nice. And if you can't be good, please be careful. And guys, I will see you on Tuesday on someone else's channel. So you want to be DM, please go follow them. Talk to you later.